Okay, and this is the reason why I say to wait until you get the car fired up and mostly tuned to play with the blow-off valve spring. I've already went ahead and installed the 11 psi spring in this one. But as you see, well, vacuum is coming up as the engine warms up some. So I'm going to let it sit here and run. Now you'll notice that there's no clamp on the blow-off valve at this moment because when I pulled this apart there was no O-ring in it, and I mentioned that in the last video and I was rather pissed off about it. At a high idle, we had a ton of air coming through here anyway. So now I'm going to be ordering an O-ring for the blow-off valve because you can't get one from on free. And as you notice here, the vacuum is creeping up more and more. So, you know, we don't have a boost vacuum gauge in the car. The car is getting an e-boost at this point. And this is where I wanted to show you guys usually 18 to 20 inches of vacuum at an idle. Now the engine's ice cold, so we just fired this up and it's creeped from 14 up to, you know, 17, almost 18 inches of vacuum. I'm not going to run the car long this time. And I'm going to cover, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to cover the vacuum log routing. Now, you can see here, silicone hose comes up to the intake. This stuff is on here. It slides up over the barb fitting, and it's not coming off. You can zip tie it if you want to feel safe. Now, the big feed hose comes around, comes into the vacuum log. Now, you'll notice that I mounted this one on the passenger side because there was so much stuff going on over here on the driver's side. This is a 1314 car that I didn't mount it over here. You can literally mount this block wherever you want to mount it. I've seen guys mount it up here. I've seen guys mount it here. I've seen guys mount it here. It doesn't matter. I'm going to give you a long selection of vacuum hose with the vacuum block kit. Now that was my final thing on the blow-off valve. There's a couple of videos here where I cover the blow-off valve, so make sure you watch all the videos. Now, somebody asked me, well, what are you doing, you know, with the block? How are you plumbing this stuff? And yes, if you plan on just running gate, you can have one hose each coming off here to each gate. But if you plan on a manual boost controller, an e-boost or whatnot, single solenoid e-boost. What I always do on these kits, and some of the kits are actually coming predetermined in a certain amount of length of hose, and it's got a T in it. What I've got here is one hose that runs from this gate all the way over to the other gate. Now, you're going to be like, well, why is there one gate hose? Well, because these two pieces need to be teed in together to have an equal amount of vacuum and boost going down each hose. Now, this is just one of those sticky little things. This goes to the passenger gate, this goes to the driver's gate. This hose comes from the boost controller or the solenoid, single solenoid. That's what these two hoses are here for. Once one of these hoses goes to the block, the other hose comes to the T. Now, I'm going to mount the e-boost solenoid right here on this little tab like I always do. I'm going to cut these hoses short after I plumb them to it. I put this T in here just to, you know, not have a big vacuum leak. And right now, I have this vacuum line ran to the firewall area with a bolt in it. This is the hose that I'm going to use to attach to the e-boost unit, and of course we'll probably run another hose or tap off this hose for the fuel pressure regulator that's more than likely going to be mounted over here with the 4 system that is now ordered for this car. So what we got here is we've got this hose here is the one that runs over by the firewall. This is the signal to boost gauge, e-boost unit, whatnot. One hose goes to the blow-off valve. This hose goes over to the T where the boost controller is going to mount. And you've still got 2 more empty ports, and of course this port here is used for my gauge under the hood. This is normally just capped. Now simple, it's very, very simple. Now you can plumb to the top of the gates like a lot of controllers tell you to do, but what I'm going to tell you to do is if you're running a 2 solenoid system, you can mount one e-boost solenoid here and one over here. And what you do is you want to keep the hose lengths equal. You can run these hoses to the solenoid and then take another, 6 to 8 inch pieces line, make sure they're equal on both sides, and run from this solenoid to the gate, and then run from this solenoid to the gate. That's the simple way to do boost control on the Coyote cars with the vacuum block kit that I sell. Yeah, all of the kits are coming with silicone hose now. We was using a cheaper PCV style hose that I was finding on the Fierce boost controllers that we sell, which are great controllers, by the way. Nice smooth operation, no clicky. I have never had an issue with one. They are on back order at the moment because I'm working with Chris on getting some more in, because they go pretty quick. We have them on several cars, like the white twin turbo car you'll see on some of our videos on the channel here that's making 1,000 wheel. It's got a Fierce manual controller on it. But literally, that's how simple. Now, our kit comes with a couple of these brass fittings. It comes with a couple of T's. It'll come with zip ties, and it comes with mounting screws to mount the block. On3 did a great job in, providing us with a nice block with multiple ports to do whatever we want to do. But they sell silicone hose, but I've came up with a ton of adapters, hoses, and tons of fittings. Of course, you can see I've got tons of blocks, extra fittings, and have figured out multiple configurations on things. Now, on like the stock Coyote car, I have found that I make a little generic T system. I would put this down, but this here can go 3/8 hose. This can go to a blow-off valve, and then a T hangs out this to split between the gates. This is a simple hose kit that I'm going to be offering for the guys that just want to run on gate, that don't want the whole vacuum block kit, because it is expensive. Well, I send enough hose to where, it gets expensive. And I ordered these adapters, but these are going to be too small on one end for what I'm going to be building. I've got a bunch of different configurations with this stuff, so guys, holler at me. But please, this time of year, it is hectic. Now, you can see this car is mostly together, and I keep hitting snag after snag. I'm kind of glad I never smoke tested this car, because I'd have been pissed off finding there was no O-ring in here. And I knew I was changing the blow-off valve spring anyway. But of course, now I've got to hurry up and wait for an O-ring. And of course, I'm on a deadline, blah, 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 blah. The deadline went out the window on this car a while ago. Now, you see I made a little makeshift shitty looking bracket for the fuse box here. And we have a PCM bracket here. Also, you can flip your PCM around and have it mounted straight in this way with the wiring harness pointed in. This is just another video of